I'm back. The second shift that I had to make in my thinking was to hear divine revelation and to act upon divine revelation. There's a lot of people who hear ideas that they should do, and they come to their mind or to the heart, and they know it's not their idea. But to act upon that, especially when it costs money or could change people's lives, that is different. And when I first I came face to face with being able to or not being able to follow personal revelation was when I was I think I was 38, and we had 4 kids because that's how many kids I wanted. I love my daughters, but I was never really super excited about being pregnant or giving birth to children because I was just so sick. And so sometime when I was around 38, my husband attended a conference, and Henry B. Eyring, who is a member of the church that I belong to, gave a talk, and he said, I encourage you, and I wasn't there, I was at home taking care of a sick child, but my husband was there and he shared with me what was said. And he said, I encourage each of you to follow all the promptings that you feel from the Spirit, because if you do that each time, you'll be able to hear the next prompting stronger. I said, oh, that's great. I can do that. So without sharing too much information, because some of it is probably something that shouldn't be posted on Facebook, but both my husband and I felt guided that we should probably try to have another child. And so it was a little impossible for me at that time, because when I was 30, I just decided, okay, that's it. So I had a surgery to make sure that I wouldn't have any more children right after I had my 4th daughter, Chelsea. So anyways, the idea just would not leave me. And so anyways, I thought, well, I'll just go to the doctor and find out how much it costs for the surgery. And it was $8,000, I think. And it was uninsurable. And as teachers don't have a lot of pay. We were pushing our finances because we were living in a house that was at a little higher cost than we as teachers probably should have purchased. But it was my mom's house and her former house, and I really loved living there and the memories that we had there. So we decided to think about it. The $8,000 was a lot, and we didn't have $8,000. And at that time I was at home. I had just opened up a business for a bookstore and decided to take a break from teaching. And I was just teaching music lessons at home. And so the next day, one of our friends from our church came and knocked on the door and said, this is the honest truth. He knocked on the door and he said, I would like to buy part of your backyard for my business, because we lived in Snowflake and there was a bed and breakfast, and he needed 10 more feet for his parking lot in order to make his business legal. And so we said, sell part of our backyard? And he says, yeah. And he said, I'd like to offer you $8,000 for that part of your backyard. And I thought, it's really interesting that he said $8,000. $8,000 is exactly what I needed to do to have that surgery. And so to me, that was, I had gone to the doctor because we had felt prompted and found out the amount, and then all of a sudden the opportunity made its way for us to have the $8,000. And there's so much more that happened after that, but I do have my 5th daughter now, Emily, and you'll probably hear more stories about her. And this was the right time for her life, I think. I don't think it would have been the right time for her life when I was 31 or 32, and I would have had her then. So that was my first experience with following a prompting. So then after that, I began to say, okay, if I feel a prompting, I'm going to find it. And that's my second mind shift, is to be willing to hear promptings and to act upon them.